Hello and welcome back to the academyofworship.org YouTube channel. My name is Chris, and today we're continuing in our Guitar 101 or Guitar Basics series. This is again the series where we're covering literally the guitar basics. We're talking about the parts of a guitar, how they function, what they mean to you, things you may want to know about it. It's for those just getting into guitar or those that may be thinking about getting into guitar. Some of you veterans may get something out of it too. You never know. Today we're talking about truss rods. We've been staying kind of in an area of the neck of the guitar for these videos so far, and I want to continue that with talking about the truss rod. Now, what is a truss rod? The basics of it is the guitar neck is always bent slightly in some way, shape, or form. Most guitars are set up with a bow in the neck, slightly in a U shape like this. And that's to allow proper string clearance across the frets and to make sure there's no buzz in certain areas. There's other things that factor into that too, but for right now we're just talking about the bow. So in case you didn't know, strings on a guitar neck, when they're tuned to pitch, actually pull between the bridge here and the tuning pegs here and create tension pulling on the neck. The truss rod is installed in a channel in the actual neck of the guitar between it and the fretboard of the guitar before the fretboard is glued on. What it allows you to do is create back tension on the neck to counteract the string pull that's naturally happening when you tune strings to pitch. Now there's a couple things to know about truss rods. One is there's two different kinds. There's a single action truss rod and a dual action or double action truss rod. Now I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of what exactly they do. You can go Google that and check it out for yourself. The dual action is probably the most recent addition to the truss rods, and by recent I mean many years ago. The single action is used in older guitars and some other guitars that want that more vintage feel to them. The long and short of it is the dual action actually creates tension in two different directions, whereas the single action truss rod only creates it in one. There's two places you can adjust the truss rod. Here at the headstock and here at the body end. Now it's different for different guitars. For this guitar, it's adjusted up here. In a lot of acoustic guitars, you can actually look through the sound hole and see where the neck meets the body. You'll see a screw or a nut that you can turn that's the truss rod adjustment for that guitar. Some electric guitars, like old Fenders, they have them also here at this part of the neck, but you have to actually remove the neck to get access to the truss rod. It just depends on your guitar, so take a look at your guitar and see where it is. Some guitars actually have a truss rod cover if it's up here at the headstock. Mine doesn't in this case, but you'll have to remove it to get to your truss rod in some cases. So take a look around, see what you find. If you were to ask me what size nut or wrench to use to adjust your truss rod, you can look up your guitar manufacturer or model. A lot of times a manufacturer will standardize on a specific size. Go on Google, check it out, see which one yours takes. Now, if we're talking about adjusting your truss rod, I'm not going to recommend that you as a beginner start doing that. I would go find a qualified luthier or a guitar technician or someone who knows what they're doing and let them do it for you. But just so you know how the mechanics work, if you notice that your guitar has a large gap midway through the neck between your strings and the fretboard, that means that the bow is too large and you'll probably have a high action and have other issues that just don't feel right on the guitar. You would tighten your truss rod, which would create tension, making your neck straighter, pulling against the strings. Sometimes you actually have a backwards bow, and that's actually going to create dead spots or your strings are going to buzz. In order to alleviate that, you have to loosen your truss rod. And to loosen that would allow the strings to pull and the neck to slacken, and that would allow more of a correct bow. You have to know what you want and what kind of string clearance you want in order to make those adjustments. So again, if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. I'm not recommending you do. But that's how a truss rod works. I wish there was a whole lot more to say about truss rods, but unfortunately they're a fairly simple mechanism, but they're really important to a guitar's proper function. So if you're having some problems with your guitar, or you're noticing it's not playing correctly, or it feels like the strings are too far away from the neck, have someone who knows what they're doing take a look at your guitar. And it might be as simple as adjusting the truss rod. But that's it. Please like and subscribe. Share the video with people that you think might benefit from this kind of information. And until next time, go play your guitar. God bless you guys.